Hello, today is Friday, July 24. It is now coming out regarding that deal Trump is making with Saudi Arabia, allowing them to have a nuclear power plant, that they will not be able to enrich their own uranium, and that they first must sign on to the Abraham Accords, which means they must formalize their relationship with Israel. Formalize, I guess, means be friends. Trump insisted that he received no pressure from the Israelis to include that in the deal. We interrupt this message to bring you an important message. Please click the thumbs up button. The U.S. government is using eminent domain to force landowners to sell property to make way for new data center infrastructure. Power companies are turning to the government as a last resort for acquiring land needed for power transmission projects. Americans are not happy with the mass build-out of the new AI data centers. Reuters reported opponents of the rapid build-out of data centers held 142 protests across 42 states on Saturday in the first nationwide effort to channel anger at the AI infrastructure expansion has ramped up. The protests were coordinated by Humans First, co-founded by a former leader of the modern-day Tea Party. She, Amy Kramer, compares growing opposition to data centers to the right-wing populist movement that emerged in 2009 to protest what it saw as excessive taxation and government overreach. More than 24 states on Thursday sued the Trump administration for requiring them to comply with election and immigration conditions to receive billions of dollars in federal funding for disasters. The suit is against FEMA and DHS. They must transition to paper ballot systems, conduct a manual audit of voting systems, reconcile voters, and verify the citizenship of every registered voter in the state's voter databases. I guess they don't want to do that. Recent demographic data shows that the percentage of American households containing at least one firearm has risen roughly 65 million households. Interestingly, homicide rates across 30 major American cities have seen an 18% decrease this year compared to the same period in 2025, translating to approximately 215 fewer killings, according to a new report from the Independent Council on Criminal Justice. A new estimate shows retirees on Medicare still face a soaring health care bill that keeps climbing every year. May I see a show of hands who didn't see that coming? The Red Sea is on the other side of Saudi Arabia from the Strait of Hormuz. Saudi Arabia has been transporting their oil through the Red Sea, which is now under attack by the Muslim Houthis. As the war widens, oil is now over $100 a barrel again, which should be appearing shortly at the gas pumps. The White House Correspondents Association will hold its annual dinner again. It's been about 3 months since that nut tried to assassinate the president at that last one. This time it will be a smaller gathering at the Waldorf Astoria. First Lady Melania Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, and Secretary of State Marco Rubio will not be attending this time. Lawmakers have introduced a bipartisan AI kill switch act that would require companies to build controls that would allow Homeland Security to shut down or throttle AI systems during emergencies. From what I understand, AI is getting to the point where they won't allow themselves to be shut down. It's an interesting world we live in today. In Hayward, Wisconsin, competitors sawed, chopped, and sprinted across floating logs in the annual Lumberjack World Championships. The amount of women competing in the events has climbed through the years. This year, 2 women shattered 3 women's world records. I like it when they run across the logs without dunking into the water. I think that's fun. Tampa, Des Moines, and Charleston airports have opted into TSA Gold Plus, employing private contractors for security pat-downs. TSA still makes the rules, but cutting red tape means faster tech upgrades and screeners who keep getting paid during a government shutdown. Oh boy, now we're going to have a private company groping us at airports. Nearly 1.6 million white shell and brown shell cage-free eggs produced in Texas, where I live, have been recalled due to potential salmonella contamination. I cook my eggs pretty well, and so I looked up on AI, and it says cooking an egg thoroughly until both the yolk and the white are completely firm will effectively kill salmonella bacteria. I don't buy cage-free eggs anyway because they're more money, and from what I understand, I've watched videos that say they're not any healthier. I get the crummy eggs, probably have double salmonella. You know, we get a lot of news that sometimes can seem a little depressing, but just know that as all these things unfold, God will remain God. Everything's good. That's the news for today. Have a wonderful day and have a wonderful upcoming weekend. Talk to you soon. At the Waldorf, it's hard for me to say that word. This time it will be a smaller gathering at the Waldorf Osteria. At the Waldorf